The time is 3 o'clock on Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. I'm calling to order the Board of Equalization. Today we have Commissioners Kelly, Burmeister, Warren, and Klug, as well as our County Administrator Bonnie Moore, Kendra Kaler from the Clerk and Register of Deeds Office, as well as Dan Pittman, our County Assessor, Jason Carter representing the Treasurer's Office, and Denny Wilson, our County Engineer. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item 4, we do have the Open Meetings Act is published on the wall of the boardroom. Is there anybody in the audience that would wish to speak to the Board of Equalization? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 5, the consent equalization agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Burmeister, second by Warren. Any questions? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
Right, item 6, regular equalization agenda, 6.1, tax corrections, 17,573 through 17,575. Dan Pittman, County Assessor.
I'll make a motion to approve those. Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Kelly. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
Agenda item 7, executive session, which I do not believe we need this afternoon. That being said, all agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Equalization is adjourned. All right, the time is now 3:02 p.m. I'm calling to order the Board of Commissioners. Today we have Commissioners Kelly, Burmeister, Warren, and Klug, as well as our County Administrator Bonnie Moore, Kendra Kaler from the Clerk and Register of Deeds Office, Dan Pittman, our Assessor, Jason Carter representing the Treasurer's Office, and Denny Wilson, our County Engineer. Up next, agenda item 4, Commissioners, Administrator announcements or comments. I'm going to start with this right off the bat, and I want to ask Mary, please join us up at the podium so that we can present you with an award and honor your many, many years of service at Sarpy County.
For those of you who can't read lips, I think Mary just said, "I'm so mad at you."
Congratulations. So today we have the great pleasure and a little bit of sadness in wishing Mary Davis a very, very happy retirement. Just a little bit about Mary's career. Today we celebrate her career. We're fortunate to have worked with Mary since 2019 when she started with Sarpy County as HR Director. With 3 decades of HR experience, including 16 years of Human Resources Director for Pottawatomie County, she brought a wealth of knowledge to this role. As we reflect on the last 6 years, it is clear that she has earned the respect and admiration of everyone who has the pleasure of working with her, and I cannot overstate that comment. Anyone who knows Mary knows that she takes a sincere interest in making sure the people who work here feel valued and understood. She's everything that we could want in an HR leader: trustworthy, poised, responsive, sincere, steady and strategic, and an effective communicator. She consistently championed initiatives that aligned with the county's goals and empowered employees to support these efforts. Mary has skillfully guided the county through several transitions and challenges with her calm and unique insight and experience. That was on full display during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mary and her team helped navigate a difficult landscape so that the county can communicate and continue to serve the public without missing a step. We're very grateful for Mary's service. Congratulations, Mary. No one deserves a happy retirement more than you. We're thrilled to bring you up this afternoon, and I do want to open up if any other commissioners want to make any comments.
The only one I had, I just asked Mary, when I was Gretna as mayor, we were kind of in disarray in HR somewhat. And we started working with the firm that Mary worked with then. So my first chance to actually, I've known her for longer, but to work with her personally would have been back in the 1990s sometime. So, yeah, anyway.
Well, this is a bittersweet day for me. I mean, personally, I'm sure there isn't another person in Sarpy County that's caused more frustration to the Davis family than me. I know I used to get under Jeff's skin a lot, and I'm sure Mary took home some complaints about me too. But it's because I have a passion for this job, and I know they share that passion. So we're really going to miss you, Mary. You have been a great advisor and a servant to the citizens of Sarpy County, and thank you so much for your service, and congratulations on your well-earned retirement.
Mary and I started about the same time here, so it's amazing it's been as long as it has. HR is a really hard job. Coming from a small law firm, I was in charge of HR along with a number of other things and practicing law, and it's really hard to do well. Mary really cares about the employees here, and it showed. I think people really respect her for the way she handles HR, and we've been really blessed to have her. I wish her all the very best. I know her and Jeff are going to have a lot of fun together now that they're both going to be retired. Hopefully they don't drive each other crazy. But we wish her all the very best. Thanks so much.
So just as a quick follow-up, out of all the places I've worked, I've never had insight into HR like I've had the opportunity here at the county, and you have guided us very, very wisely and calmly through many of very unique storms, and I cannot thank you enough for that. So with that, I definitely want to present you with your award for your service. If we could all come forward, get a quick picture, then I would love to invite your family up for a group picture as well. Would the family like to come up? Should we just get out of the way?
Out of the way or out of the way?
Yeah, let's slide up. Yeah, no, would be remiss if we didn't invite you.
Well, anyway, I would just like to thank County Board, County Administration, everyone here, department heads, elected officials, all the county employees. You guys have been a pleasure to work with. It's been, we've had some challenging times. We've had a lot of fun times. But anyway, every day it's been a pleasure working with all of you. As Jeff says, keep on fighting the good fight. And, always do the right thing, and you can't go wrong. So my little Scotty girl down there, she's just exited the room. But anyway, I appreciate all my family and friends for coming today, and just thank you so much for your support over the years. It's just been a pleasure. So I'll miss you all, and God help Jeff and I. It'll be, we're excited about moving on to this next new adventure. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, we'll continue with the Commissioners' Administrators' announcements. Any additional comments? Mr. Kelly?
No, thanks.
No comments.
Bonnie, any comments?
No comments, thank you.
Thank you. All right, up next is agenda item 5, awards and proclamations presentations. 5.1, UNL Douglas Sarpy Extension presentation. Carrie Schneider Miller, UNL Douglas Sarpy Extension. Welcome.
Hello. All right, let me. All right. Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing us time to speak today. My name's Carrie Miller. I'm the Unit Leader and Engagement Zone Coordinator for Sarpy and Douglas County Extension. I think you're all somewhat familiar with Extension, but you may not know all the 8 areas we offer programming in. And while we're not super in-depth in all of these areas, we're going to highlight the 4 programming areas we do offer in most depth in Sarpy County. Extension is a partnership among county government, state land-grant universities, and federal government. Our vision is to be the trusted educational resource for every Nebraskan, inspiring fulfilled, prosperous, and healthy lives. I'm going to highlight 2 of our program areas, and then I'm going to let Brett and Dana give more detailed information about 2 more. The first program I wanted to highlight, series of programs, is our nutrition, health, and food safety education programs. So we provide food safety certification classes and certificate to food service establishments, so that's restaurants, where you eat, where your kids are eating at school, to food service at the schools. We also have 2 grant-funded programs that offer food, nutrition, and health education to limited resource individuals, youth, and adults throughout the county as well. And also, we provide education to the child care providers, taking care of all the children in Sarpy County. As of today, we have awarded 3,000 continuing education credits to child care providers in both Douglas and Sarpy County, and that's actually done online during nap time for the most part. So COVID really helped us pivot those programs to daytime hours or some weekends without the child care providers having to come into our office for all of those. All of our child care provider programs are state approved already. Before we offer them out, we have a very strong partnership with the state. And we also provide the co-parenting for successful kids, which is for divorced and separated parents, and it's a different modules they go through. It's actually court-based to help them work together better in raising their children. So, any questions about those 2 programs before I pass it on? Okay. Great.
All right, my name is Brett Kreifels. I'm the head of the forage department with Douglas Sarpy Extension. So I'm going to give you a quick snapshot of the forage program. So one cool thing about our program is we are in every school district in Douglas and Sarpy County, as well as parochial schools, and a big piece of our forage puzzle now is the homeschool group. So give you a quick snapshot of our program. So we were short just a few above reaching that 21,000 youth mark within the youth of Douglas Sarpy County. And a couple cool highlights is one thing that I like to do, being a Sarpy County resident, I want to hone in on our Sarpy County schools and target those quite a bit. So we've done a pretty good job of that in the last couple of years, but just to give you a quick rundown of a program we just got done with, our Gifford Farm Ag Festival and our Sarpy Cass Ag Festival. So it brings the city kids into a farm atmosphere to learn about where their food comes from. Just shy of 1,100 youth attended those 2 days, and 90% of those kids were Sarpy County schools, Papillion, Bellevue, and Springfield. So the cool thing about that figure, the 8,760 for the Ag Festivals and STEAM Days, which is an all-school event for science, technology, engineering, and math, is a third of all the youth that did an ag festival came from Douglas and Sarpy County within the state. So we're really hitting on that urban population to teach them where their food comes from. And then embryology is a big one we have going on right now. that's hatching baby chicks in the school. Also brings in that ag piece, but also that science piece. I'm really excited where that program is going. I just had a conversation yesterday with the curriculum coordinator for Papillion La Vista schools, and we could be in every second grade classroom in Papillion La Vista with that. So that's a really good one to be in. But that is like a big piece of our puzzle, but the one that we hear most about, which is kind of the cornerstone of the 4-H program, is the county fair experience. Within our program, we have about 450 enrolled 4-H youth every year. And you saw on the last slide about 391 or so 4-H volunteers in our program. About 2,500 exhibits go on to the county fair, and that's anywhere from the cattle, the chickens, the cookies, the plants, all that kind of stuff that kids do throughout the year. We even had one youth that she's all gung-ho about her 4-H projects. She made about 75 4-H projects last year, made 75 4-H projects, and Gretna resident. So really glad to see that spark in her. And then the picture on the top, and my top right, your top left, we were invited to be a part of the 4-H Proclamation Day at the Capitol with Governor Pillen. That was a big deal for us. We were invited to come and be a part of that. So February is Nebraska 4-H month. So it's really good to be a part of that. So with that, I'm gonna keep it short. Any questions about the 4-H program that I can answer for you?
So currently in daycares now, you're doing the hatch chickens. Is that your project?
So that is the Look Who's Hatching. That is Katie Kraus, our early childhood. But right now, it's currently, our program is being implemented in a lot of classrooms right now in Douglas and Sarpy County. Yep. So we reach, with that program, what was it, about 6,800 kids every year. And that's a big deal too. Out of 17,000 youth in 2024 that were part of that program, about a quarter of those came from our program. So really cool to see. Any other questions I can answer for you?
So what's the breakdown between, in 4-H between Douglas and Sarpy County?
Yep. So we see a little bit of a divide, if we think county fair-wise. Most of our livestock and animal projects come from Sarpy County. Most of our static, that's your cookies and your vegetables and those kind of things, come from Douglas. So I would roughly say about half and half of our youth come from Douglas and half come from Sarpy. Yeah, but the projects differ a little bit too.
Okay.
Yep. Anything else? All right, I'll turn it over to Dana.
Thank you.
So hi, my name is Dana Freeman, and I am a member of the Horticulture, Landscape, and Environmental Systems team. That is a lot of words to say that our team focuses on plants, bugs, and how they interact with the people, or intersect with the people of Nebraska. So these pictures sort of visualize what our team focuses on, and so I'm going to start in the top left with the bed bug and then move counterclockwise. Dr. Jody Green of Backyard Farmer fame is our urban entomologist, and she specializes in creating programming around structural and health-related pests like ants, termites, cockroaches. So really that's about bugs and the people that they bother. Her goals are to work with homeowners and commercial pesticide applicators to minimize their pesticide use while helping them control the pests that they're trying to manage. She also promotes an appreciation of pollinators, and that can be seen as her through her leadership of the Nebraska Pollinator Habitat Certification Program. Dr. Green is recognized as an international expert on bedbugs, and she supports school nurses across the state and locally as they try to manage those within the school system. She answers thousands of questions each year and does a lot to help folks with those often feared and hated pests. And the next image is of urban agriculture, and I have the privilege of holding a statewide position as the urban agriculture and local food systems educator. So my work is really about promoting urban agriculture initiatives, so really plants and feeding people. So some of the things that I focus on are really about community engagement and healthy food access. And I do that through a program called Growing Together Nebraska in partnership with our SNAP educators. We grow produce, fresh produce, and donate it to local pantries, including the Neighbor Good Pantry in Papillion. Other projects include, just teaching sustainable gardening practices for urban growers, and that's everyone from a backyard gardener to community gardener to an urban farmer. And a lot of the work is around supporting local foods and urban agriculture initiatives through policy support in our communities. So it's really about creating, for me, equitable and sustainable food systems. The final images are about the remainder of our horticulture team. And the biggest program we have in Douglas-Sarpy counties around horticulture is the Extension Master Gardener Volunteer Program. So that's about plants and bugs and people. And we have 3 full-time staff who guide that program. Master Gardener volunteers receive 50 hours of initial training, and then each year complete an additional 15 hours of education, as well as 40 education hours every single year. So Master Gardeners really improve the efficiency of all 5 of our staff members. They help us by they do that by helping us. We manage 20 teaching gardens across the 2-county area, including 6 in Sarpy County. They also help us by staffing over 100 Ask the Master Gardener tables at community events, including farmers markets. And so there's over 315 Extension Master Gardener volunteers, and they have such a big impact. They also help us answer questions over the telephone, via email, and in-person walk-in clients. As you can see here, we answered over 10,000 lawn and gardening and bug questions last year. So they're helping us 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, answer phone, email, and the folks that come through the door. They also help us by speaking on gardening topics for local civics groups, and so they've done that in all 5 of the Sarpy County libraries, which we're pretty proud of. And finally, as I mentioned before, they help us grow and donate produce. And so last year, that was over 5 tons of produce. Without Master Gardeners, we wouldn't be quite as effective as we are. In 2024, they volunteered over 20,000 hours, which is equivalent to over 9 full-time staff, and we only pay 5 full-time staff. So that's an in-kind benefit of over $670,000 to our communities. So it's pretty amazing, and our reach and impact across Sarpy County and beyond wouldn't be quite as great without them. So do you have any questions?
What is the selection rate for Master Gardener applicants? Not everybody gets picked right? It's competitive.
I don't manage the program anymore. That was my old job, but it's almost 100%.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm the only Master Gardener on the board, I believe, but
Oh, are you?
these folks are apprentices. And
Oh, yeah.
I try to educate them as much as I can. But
Did you
it's a
have your
challenge.
potatoes planted last Friday?
No, I mean, that's a great program. I wish we had more locations in Sarpy County, but, it's a numbers game, I realize that. But every one I've gone to, especially the one at Walnut Creek and at the fairgrounds are beautiful.
Sarpy County Fairgrounds, we're at Schramm, Walnut Creek, Chauco, Eastern Nebraska Veterans Home. That's a really nice garden as well.
That's very
And we're really pleased with our partnerships at the public libraries. Public libraries are great partners in that they serve all citizens, kind of like we do. And a lot of their events are indoors, which is nice because we hand out a lot of free materials. And that's challenging in farmers market settings when papers blow and it gets hot. So we've been doing a lot of programming, especially at Bellevue. They seem to reach out quite a bit, and whether that's helping with a seed swap or a houseplant swap or just a lot of different programs.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
One more slide.
All right, there's the end. So there's my contact information. If you have any questions, follow up. QR code is to our webpage. Anything else before we're done? Okay, thank you for the time.
Thank you for being here.
Just a comment if I could, though.
Sure.
And I've said this before, so it probably won't be a surprise to you, but I think for the investment that we make in extension, the return on investment is probably greater than almost any other program that we fund, both in terms of community support and involvement of our citizens and our youth, in particular through the 4-H programs. I appreciate you coming to keep us informed because we lose track of it sometimes. And I would also appreciate when the fair comes around, when you have your 4-H events, that you don't forget about us and send us an invite. So, because if we're available, that's always a fun thing. I know Commissioner Burmeister and I went down there. Commissioner Warren's been there several times, but it's a fun thing for us to do. So look forward to that.
Well, yep. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, up next is the consent commissioners agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Kelly. Any further comments or discussion from the board? Hearing none, please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
All right, moving to the regular commissioners agenda, 7.1 is a public hearing, a possible vacation of portions of South 198th Street right-of-way adjacent to Gretna Landing Development, H&S Blink 192nd LLC. Andrea Gosnell-Parker.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today on the agenda is a public hearing on the proposed vacation. Prior to today, the county engineer has submitted their recommendation. The public hearing was published for the appropriate amount of time as required under statute, and I believe attached to the agenda was submitted a letter from the City of Gretna on the matter. No action is required today, but the item will come back to the board at the next practicable meeting for a vote.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Do you want to open it up? Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak to this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and move to agenda item 7.2, resolution 2025-81, standard construction management / general contractor pre-construction services agreement for the Connect Sarpy Southern Sarpy Expressway Project C77 25-15 with Hawkins Construction Company in the amount of $400,000. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
Thank you, Commissioners. Again, this is to select Hawkins Construction as the construction manager, general contractor for the South Sarpy Expressway project. The county received 4 proposals from qualified firms. A selection committee then reviewed the proposals from those firms and then held interviews with each of those firms and made a recommendation to move forward with Hawkins on this project. As you know, the South Sarpy Expressway project is to build the full expressway system from 10th Street south of Bellevue west to 42nd Street, grade separated, limited access with corresponding frontage roads. With going through the interview process and then talking with Hawkins, a couple of things that they mentioned during the interview that I think was impressive to the committee was they did state that they believe the project can be built a year sooner, within a year sooner than what we had projected. And they also felt like the budget was accurate. And then finally, one of the criteria was they actually had the lowest CMGC multiplier. So from an objective cost standpoint, they were the lowest cost. This agreement is for pre-construction services. It's for $400,000. You select the CMGC. The CMGC gets compensated to meet with the engineering firm to go through the design, phasing, the pricing in a collaborative way to make sure that we find efficiencies and innovations that help the project be able to move forward from that manner. So we do think that selecting Hawkins today, getting the pre-construction services underway. There's an opportunity to still get this project under construction yet this year, which would be great. As we know, pricing has been very favorable as we've gone out to bids on these infrastructure projects, so that's great. We do have with us today Luke Ritter, who's with Hawkins Construction. Luke will be the project manager. We also have Chris Malmberg from HDR, who you know well. And then the selection committee consisted of Commissioner Kelly, Bonnie Moore, Denny Wilson, the county engineer, Craig Hunter, who's our project principal from HDR, and then Dr. Ryan Saunders from the Springfield School District, who was a great add to the committee. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions from commissioners?
Just a couple of comments since I sat on that selection. And well, first of all, congratulations to Hawkins, and HDR will be a key partner in making sure that we get this project done on time and on budget. But the fact that we're awarding a contract this large didn't just happen by happenstance. I just remember, I think it kind of was born out of frustration several years ago when Commissioner Warren was upset about some of the construction projects we had going on. They were just sort of piecemeal, $1 million here, $3 million there. There was no coordination, no communication between one construction company and another. And we thought there's got to be a way to get regional size construction firms in here to do work in Sarpy County. We'd never seen a regional construction firm. And not saying anything bad about the smaller construction firms, because they do good work, but there's an economy of scale that we were missing out on for so many years. That you gain by, bundling, I guess is what Commissioner Warren called it. We got to bundle these projects. So I'd like to recognize Commissioner Warren. This is really his brainchild. And then I know he talked to you, and then you took it to the next level with the CMC process. And I mean, that's all great. So what we're about to kick off here is a $100 million project. This follows on the heels of a $250 million project in Connect Sarpy, which basically changed the landscape of the whole western half of our county, with major arterials connecting and moving traffic north and south and east and west in an expeditious manner in ways that we never thought were possible even 5 years ago. So I'd like to thank Commissioner Warren publicly for bringing this process to fruition. And I'd like to say, as a guy that sat on the board, I sat on the board with our administrator, Bonnie Moore, and I would have been comfortable, honestly, picking any one of those contractors. They were all great. But it was just kind of neat to have people regional, like construction companies, wanting to do work in Sarpy County and giving us their best pitch. But, the cream, as you pointed out, it rose to the top in this case. So congratulations to Luke and the folks at Hawkins for being selected. But they earned it. It's as simple as that. And I know they're going to do a fantastic job. Also the idea, we've been talking about this for 12 years. And now, in like 2027, we're going to be actually driving on at least a small portion of the Platteview Expressway. That's exciting. So it's going to change the landscape of Sarpy County. It's going to bring in development that we can only imagine right now, but it's going to bring it. And it's like the old baseball analogy: if you build it, they will come. They're coming. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing, I think, for Sarpy County. So appreciate the hard work of HDR and Hawkins both, and look forward to working with them and partnering with them to get this road done. Good. And Scott, last but not least, you and our county engineer have been instrumental in helping shepherd this process through. So without that leadership, we wouldn't be here today either. So I don't want to overlook that. You in particular have been the sort of the focal point for the board, working with the county engineer and keeping us appraised of what's going on. And so really appreciate that.
Thank you.
That I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, second.
Motion by Warren, second by Kelly. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
All right, up next is 7.3, Resolution 2025-90, Personnel Rules and Regulations Revisions, titled Sarpy County Handbook for Employees in the Classified Service. Couldn't let you get away quite yet. Mary Davis, HR Director.
Commissioners, this is a resolution to approve the new format and revisions to the personnel rules and regulations for the classified service. HR we've been working with the management and the advisory employee groups to revise the personnel rules and regs. So we took a look at those. We've also taken a look at some of the policy bulletins. And we are recommending one large handbook, if you will, for both the classified service and then the unclassified service. So with that, as you go through those policies, you'll see that we've got a new header. We're going to add the dates that those were approved by the Personnel Policy Board, approved by the County Board, the dates that they were effective, when they were revised, things of that nature. A lot of the policies have been completed. Those have been, we've completed these in waves, if you will. This is the first wave of policies that have been approved by the Personnel Policy Board and the groups, and we're asking for the approval on that. A lot of the other policies have been drafted and will be brought forward to you after they go through that Personnel Policy Board for your approval in the next few months. So,
Thank you, Mary. Any questions?
I just want to say thanks for all your work on this. This was a huge undertaking.
You're welcome.
Took a lot of detailed work and working with all the groups, and it's really appreciate your hard work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome.
All right.
I'm not going to browbeat you.
That's okay.
One last chance, though. No. Thanks, Mary. Appreciate
welcome.
all your support.
You're welcome.
Entertain a
To
motion.
approve.
Motion by Burmeister,
Second.
Take it down.
second by Kelly. Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion's carried.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Up next, we do have an executive session for collective bargaining and personnel.
For the protection of the public interest, I move we go into executive session where our discussion will be on collective bargaining and personnel.
Second.
Motion by Kelly, second by Burmeister. Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
It is now 3:38. We'll go into executive session where our discussion will be restricted to collective bargaining and personnel. where discussion was restricted to collective bargaining and personnel. I need a motion that we return to regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Kelly. Please vote.
Bonnie's aye.
Okay, A's 3, absent Burmeister and Mixon, motion
Here she
carried.
comes.
Okay, A's 4, motion carried.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Commissioners is adjourned.